Welcome back to Mrs. Stewart's Crochet Club. Today we're going to make the V-stitch hat. Great accessory for fall. Not that I'm wishing summer to disappear quickly, but nice to get ready for fall. What you need for this project is worsted weight yarn, so Bernat Premium or Red Heart, any kind of number 4 yarn will make this project. The brim is made with a 5mm crochet hook, and the rest of it uses a 5.5mm crochet hook. So grab your scraps, grab your 2 hooks. I'm only showing one here because I've misplaced my 5. But let's get started. To get started making the brim of our hat, that you want to leave a long end for sewing at the end. This is essential. Start your slip knot after that long tail. For this pattern, we're going to do 12 stitches across, so that means we need to chain 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. If you notice, my chain is not very taut. It's kind of has a little bit of give to it. And now we're going to turn around and go back down. So we're not going to be going into the stitch that this is coming out of. We're going to go into the next spot, and we're just going to single crochet our way back down. 12 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So, okay, we've come to the end, and this is what we're going to do for the next row and the rest of the whole brim. Chain 1, always chain 1, turn your work. And we're going to take a look at what we've done so far. And instead of going into the stitch down here, we're going to rotate it and find the top of the stitch where the V is. And this is a back loop only stitch. So that means we're going to take our hook, and instead of inserting under, we're going to put it through just the V at the back, or the loop at the back, and pull it through. Single crochet. Next one. 2, 3, 4, and we just keep going all the way to the end here. Now going through the back loop, kind of looks like it pulls up a little bit, but that's okay. That's kind of just, it'll settle down once you get to the end of the row, and that's kind of what gives us this elasticity. You don't need to add elastic to this, the brim of this cap, or the brim of this hat, because you're kind of building elasticity into it. Now, sometimes the last stitch can be a little bit tricky, especially on the first round. I know that I've done 11 stitches, and so I'm just going to insert it into a stitch, the last stitch there. Don't forget to chain 1, turn your work, and we're going to repeat that all the way back down. So going into the back loop, single crochet, all the way down. Now, if you get to the end of a row and you have 11 or 13 stitches, that means you've either lost a stitch or you've gained a stitch somewhere. Try and keep count of your rows until you're semi-professional, and even semi-professionals sometimes mess up their stitch count as well. So what you're going to do now is you're going to grab your coffee, tea, Netflix, whatever you're using. I'm watching a lot of Tubi lately. There's free movies on and TV shows, and it's kind of a little bit different than what's on Netflix. Some of it's older stuff, but I really like some of the old stuff too. I just finished watching 16 Candles last night while working on my brim. So my brim, like I said, is 68 rows. This is a snug fit on my head, and you want it to be a snug fit, because if it's not, if it's too loose, then your hat's going to have no structure. It's going to be floppy. So get your 68 rows done. If you find that it is too big, you can decrease by 2 rows. So do 66 rows instead. Or if you find that it's too small, you can add 2 rows. I think multiples of 2 is the way this should go. So instead of doing 68, you would do 70. Get to the point where you have your brim completed. Make sure that you do not snip your end. Don't snip your end, because we're going to be using this for the rest of the hat. You should have a long tail, a long brim, and a still attached loop. See you in a few. Okay, so we've got to the point where we're done our brim, our 68 rows, give or take, depending on you. We have the loop side, I've removed my hook, and we have the long tail. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to be sewing these 2 ends together with a darning needle. So you need a darning needle. I'm going to put it on the end of my work here. And match your ends up. And we're going to do the best job that we can to sew this together. We're not going to be using any of these stitches anymore, so it's okay to kind of just flub it. I'm just going to go through 1 loop on each side to be consistent with the pattern of back loop only. But once again, it's not a big, huge deal if you do it a different way. I'm just doing a whip stitch over the top of this. Can you see? Yes. Going through approximately 1 stitch on either side. I think alternately you could just keep your hook and you could crochet it closed, but I'm trying to be extra precise here. Let's be careful not to sew our working yarn into the project. Just hold it up a little bit as you sew through that stitch. And we're going to secure it as best as we can. I'm going to go back down a few stitches and bury it. Let's cut that off. I think it's good and buried, and it's secured enough to my liking. So this is where we stop and we admire the brim that we've just made. Now, if you are still with me, or if you're just giving up on this project, you have a nice sporty headband that you could just wear, or you can continue along with me and go along to the next part of the hat. It's time to switch to our larger hook now, so a 5.5 millimeter if you have one. If you don't have one, like I would keep going with a 5 millimeter. Not huge, it's not gonna make a huge difference. So let's grab our new hook, or continue with the one you had if that is your case, and we will start building our V stitches to go up. Okay, so I have my 68 rows done. I've sewn up the seam, and I went and got my 5.5 millimeter hook to continue with the band. So rejoin your hook with the loop that we've kind of saved out, and then you're just going to chain 1, and we're going to go into every stitch side around, so there should be 68 in total with a single crochet. So I'm going to start right here where I see a space and single crochet into that. Then I'm going to skip over this ridge and into the next space right below it. And this is where it can be tricky, trying to find where each stitch belongs. You just do the best you can. So I know there's a stitch here and here. Remember, we were counting by twos. So we're going to just remember that there's 2 rows in each divot. So you should be doing this 68 times until you get back to the beginning of this where we did the chain 1, and we're going to be joining in that space. Now it can be a little bit messy. Just do your best to find 2 stitches for each divot. I haven't been counting. And I find things kind of, once you go around the whole row and start adding, whatever is kind of gappy kind of fills itself in. So I'm not overly concerned. I'm just making sure that I put 2 in each space. 1, 2. So don't do what I'm doing. Keep count of how many stitches you're getting, making sure that 2 go into each little divot space until you get back around, and you're going to join to the first chain that you just did. Let's see how quickly we can get this done. Okay, so I'm at 66. This is 67. And my last stitch, 68, is going opposite to this stitch. Now remember, this is where it was seamed together. So it's a little bit awkward the last stitch, but we're just going to get it as together as we can. And then we can attach to this first stitch. Forget the chain 1. Okay, there we go. And there we have the setup now for our band. So the band is complete, and we're going to be working from these stitches all the way up. We're going to switch to the second color now. Let's do that. Okay, so I'm switching to a green color, and we're going to be changing our color. So I snipped off my end, and then with joining the green, we're going to chain 3 with the green. So we're just going to put it right in there. Tighten that up, and that will be secured more later. I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then in that same spot you're coming out of, you're going to do a double crochet. So go back into the same spot where that's coming out of, double crochet. Okay, so you should have this little V. Then we're going to skip the next stitch, which is here, and go into the next one with 2 double crochets. I think I'm going to travel my yarn, hold the tail ends just to incorporate them. So skip a stitch and do 2 double crochets in the next stitch. Okay, so there's 1 and another one in the same spot, double crochet. Okay. So we're going to drop those for now. We will weave them in later if needed. We're going to skip a stitch and do 2 double crochets in the next stitch. 1, 2. Again, skip and then 2 double crochets in the next stitch. 1, 2. And this is our pattern going on until we get back to the beginning. Skip and 2 double crochets in the next stitch. 1 and 2. And look, ooh, I'm excited. It looks good. Making a nice little V going here. So keep going. Skip 2 double crochet, skip 2 double crochet until you get back to the beginning. And when we get there, I'll show you the next step. Okay, so I've made it around my first row. I'm back to the beginning chain. I'm going to go up 3 chains, 1, 2, 3. I'm going to attach with a slip and slip it on through. And if you're continuing with the same color, you can just go to the next space and you can chain through, you can like slip into the next space and chain 3, 2, 3. for your first stitch. But for me, I'm going to be changing colors, so I'm not going to slip into the next space. I'm going to cut my yarn and I'm going to finish off this color, and I'm just doing that by pulling this through. So you've slipped into that, pull that through. And we're going to carry this along a little bit to secure it in. And we're going to go with our next color. Now, I was going to go with muted fall colors, but I ended up going vibrant. So I'm going with my next color, which is orange. And I'm going to find the space between the first two double crochet. So this is our original chain 3 and then a double crochet, and we're going to attach with a slip knot. So I've already made the slip knot. I'm going to insert my hook between those two stitches and secure it. So I just do a slip, secure it with a chain, kind of hold the tail of this back too. And we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And in that same space, making sure that we're holding our tail ends, we're going to do another double crochet. 1, 2. Okay, so we're going to continue around between every double crochet. We're going to make sure we don't go between the two clusters. We're going to find the 2 double crochets that we did together in the last round, and that's where we're going to be working 2 double crochets in that space. We're going to be doing another 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Okay, and this is continued to the end of the round. 1, 2. Okay, so we're just going to keep going in between every V 2 double crochets until we get back to the beginning chain. Okay, so I've made it around my circle and I'm back to my beginning chain. I'm going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3 stitches, and I'm going to join with a slip. And there we go. That is the second, this is the second row. We're going to be having 8 rows of these in total. So you need to do 6 more repeats of this past row. So once again, I'm going to snip my yarn and I'm going to finish off. You can just pull it through. I'm just going to knot it through like that. So yeah, we need to have 8 rows in total before we start to decrease. If you're still with me, I'm just starting with a slip knot. I'm going back into that space, pull your yarn, and attach. So attaching it, I'm just really slipping, making a chain through that thing, that spot. Trying to make sure it's a little bit tight. 1, 2, 3, and then a double crochet in the same spot. So it counts as 2 double crochets. Skip to the next center of the next V, and we're going to do again 2 double crochets. Continue this pattern around until you have 8 rows in total of V-stitch, and then we will get decreasing. It's time for me to turn on my shows. Okay, so I have gotten to 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rounds. And I kind of like my scrappy look here, different colors. It's kind of vibrant, but it's looking good to me. I'm going to join my next color yarn in this next space. And in this row, or in this round, we're going to be doing the decreases. So first, chain 3, and then do another double crochet in this space. So this counts as the first V. In the next 4 stitches, you're going to do 2 double crochets. So once again, between the cluster, you're doing 2 double crochets. That's 1, 2, 3, And the next one, 4. There we go. So there should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in total. And in the next stitch, this is where we decrease. So we're going to do what's called a double crochet cluster, where it's taking a double crochet. Instead of having 2 stitches, it's going to come out to 1. So it's not too hard. So you yarn over, insert through that stitch, pull up your loop, yarn over and pull through 2, and then stop. Then you're going to yarn over, pull it through, yarn over and stop there. You should have 3 on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. So you have 2 double crochets, but just 1 stitch at the top. So that is the decrease. Now in the next 5 stitches, we're going to just do a regular V, which is 2 double crochets in each stitch. So that's 5. 1. There's 1. 2. 3. 4. And 1 more, 5. Okay, so the next stitch is going to be the decrease, and once again I'll show you one more time so you can get it. Yarn over, insert through that stitch, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 and stop, yarn over again, insert back through the stitch, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2, then you'll have 3 on your hook. You're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 for your decrease, and we're going to repeat that pattern. So 5 clusters, double crochets, and then decrease. You can continue doing that until you get back to the beginning, and then we'll attach and do the next row. So after the last cluster, you're going to find there's just 4 more stitches. So we're just going to go ahead and do the clusters in these stitches, the 2 double crochets in these stitches. There we go, and 1 more, and the last one, okay. So you should have sorry, let's attach to the top of this. So go up 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and join there, and we're going to slip it through. I'm going to use my scissors and cut my string. And I like to loop mine through just to secure it a little extra. Okay, so but at this time we should have 29 of the double crochets and 5 of the clusters for the decrease. So that was the decrease, and we're going to do 1 round around, and we're going to be skipping some of these stitches as we go. Grab your next color. So mine is going to be yellow. Okay, so I'm going to make a slip knot. In the last space, or after that knot, I'm going to add my new color and secure that as best as we can. I like to hold my tails back. Chain 3, and then double crochet back into that same spot for our first V. Okay, so next, this one we're going to do 2 double crochets in the next 4 spaces. So in these spaces we're doing 4 of the double crochet V stitch. There's 1 cluster, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so if we take a look after you've done this 4th one, you'll notice that there is that decrease that we just did, and all we're going to do in this part is we are skipping it. We're going to skip it, and then we're going to continue to do the double crochets in the next 5 spaces. So skip it entirely, go to the next V and do 2 double crochets in that space. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and last one, 5. There is the next decrease. You can see it's just 1 stitch. We're skipping that again and going to the next V all the way around back to the beginning. All right, so I've made it around. I'm going to find the top of my first chain and secure. Again, I'm going to cut my yarn. And as I showed you before, I like to pull mine through. There we go. It's starting to decrease. I'm noticing it going in its ball shape. Okay, next color. Take this away. My next color is blue. So this round is going to be another decreasing round with the 2 double crochet chain, 2 double crochet cluster. So I'm going to join to that one I just finished with a slip. 1, 2, 3. Now I've realized that sometimes I am attaching with 1 and then chaining up 3. Other times I'm attaching with 1 and chaining up 2. Essentially you just need a chain. So whatever looks best to you. I realized I was doing that. It was not really a mistake. It's just a style thing. And I've been alternating between one and the other. Okay, so you need to have a chain 3 and a double crochet for your first V. Then we're going to go ahead and do 3 more, so for a total of 4 V stitches. So 2 double crochets in the next 3 for a total of 4. My yarn. One, 2, 3, and we've done 1, 2, 3, 4. There should be 4 of these V stitches in total. And then we're going to be doing the 2 double crochet cluster. So once again, yarn over, insert through the space, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over again, insert through the space again, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over and pull through all 3. And then we're going to continue with 4 2 double crochet spaces here. So 4 2 double crochet V's in the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then after this one, there's our 4 done. In this next space, we're going to do our 2 double crochet cluster as the decrease. So there's 1, and yarn over and pull through all 3. And so keep going with that pattern. It's going to be 4 of the double crochets and then a double crochet cluster with decrease. So keep doing that until you get to the end. Okay, so after my last cluster, after my last 2 double crochet cluster, I just have 4 more stitches to go here. So I'm just gonna go the 2 double crochets in each stitch to the end. Two, 3, and 4. Okay, So then we're going to find the top of that chain again and hook into it, or slip into it if you want to be technical, and cut. And we're going to pull through and secure that. Okay, so that was another decreased round. It's looking good. We're going to go in with our next color now, so put this one away and get your next color. So my next color is red. Once again, joining with a slip into the V where we just finished off. And then make it into a chain 3, and then double crochet into the same spot for our first V. And we're going to be putting this same V stitch into each of the previous V stitches and skipping the cluster again. So the pattern is 2 double crochets in the next 3 for a total of 4. So there's 2. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and the last one, 4. Okay, so I have 4 V's. I'm at the cluster that I had before. We're gonna, once again, we're just skipping it, and we're going to continue with the same stitch between the V's, 2 double crochets. Okay, so just continue around with your 2 double crochets in each space, skipping the cluster. Okay, so I made it all the way around and I secured to my top chain and I fastened off. We're almost there. We're very, very close. Grab your next color and attach it into that V space. So this round is going to be another round where we are doing the double crochet cluster. So chain 3, to another double crochet in the same space for our V. And in this round, we are doing 2 more V's and then a cluster. So for a total of 3, there's 1. And 2. So that's a total of 3 clusters, including the first one. And we're going to do, the word cluster is getting confusing. So let's say V. So that's 3 V's, V, 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 2 double crochet cluster. So yarn over and insert, yarn over again, and then pull through 3. And then we're going to continue with 3 of the double crochet V's. There's 1. 2. And 3. Then go ahead and do your 2 cluster together. And keep going on. So 3 V's cluster, 3 V's cluster until you get to the end. Okay, so after the last double crochet cluster, there's just 1 more V space to go into here. There's our V. We're going to join to the first chain. And I swear we're almost done. Almost there. So let's snip this one off. Pull through. Tighten that. Oh, it's looking so good. I'm excited about this hat. Okay, my next color is orange. Let's grab our next color. Look at my orange. It's so messed up. I've been using it and reusing it and twisting it, untwisting it. Okay, so we're going to make another slip knot and join that space again. This is looking very good. Like, it's seamless. I can't even tell really where the beginning and the end is. I think we're doing a good job. Okay. Whoops, I did it differently that time. However you attach is great. Okay, in our chain 3 and holding our tails together-ish, do another double crochet. So that is 1. And in this round, it's the same as the previous rounds where we are just doing the double crochet in the V's, and then we're skipping the cluster from before. So in every space around except for that, you're adding 2 double crochets. The V double crochet. Okay, so just keep going around. I'll take you past one of my skips here. Oh, that is my cluster. I'm skipping right over it to the next space when doing my 2 double crochets. Okay, so go all the way around. Meet me back here. Okay, I've reached my end. I'm going to go up. There's cat hair in mine now. I'm going to go up to the top of the chain, insert my hook, yarn over, and this is our last color change. We're at the end, and it's a little bit different than the previous rounds. Let's take a quick look at our hat so far. How's it going? Looking good. We're right at the top here. So grab your last color, which for me, and making my heart feel good, is mine's purple, and that fits with my my color scheme. The purple is coming in last here as well as first, so that makes me feel good. I also am going to be adding a pom-pom too, so you can get commercial pom-pom, buy one from a store, or you could make your own. I have a pom-pom maker I'm going to use, and I'm going to make it purple, so this works out really well. Grab your next color, last color. So slip knot into the space here. Just a single crochet this time, and now we're going to go back into that same space and do a single crochet. So this is where this round is different. Okay, so now we're just going to be doing a single crochet between each of the V spaces. So skip this space, and in the next space do a single crochet. Skip, and then inside the V, single crochet. This is going to really cinch it together. Start the closing time. Skip, single crochet. Skip that, and then single crochet, and so on until you get back to the beginning. Keep going thusly, and I'll meet you there. Okay, so I've had a filming error. Instead of filming this part, I took a picture of it, unfortunately. So what I did is, after getting around the circle, there should have been 18 stitches. And then I put my yarn onto a darning needle, and I inserted it through the stitches. We're going to be going all the way around. I'll show you. We'll have to imagine that I didn't do that. Okay, let's pretend that I did a great job. So if we are coming out, we cut our yarn, we left a long tail, and now we're going through each stitch front loop from the bottom. So we're just going to be cinching up the hole that was left. Like, this hole needs to be cinched up, and each stitch, I hope this makes sense because that was an amateur hour. Okay, so going underneath each bar, there should be 18 stitches that you're going underneath. And when you get back to the beginning, it will we'll be able to pull it closed and it'll cinch up really good. And I'm going to be adding a pom-pom to mine. I haven't gotten back to the beginning yet. I hope this makes sense. I'm sorry for my blunder there. Okay. Okay, keep going. I haven't gotten there yet. Just going through the front loop really ties it quite well. I think there's other ways you could do this, but this seems to be the best for me. Did I get back to the beginning? Almost. A couple more stitches. 1 and 2. Yeah, this is the last stitch. Okay, so I am just going to make sure they're all looped in. So this is one long string, and what you're going to do is the fun part, you're going to just pull it and that will close up that circle. Satisfying. Ooh. I'm going to take my yarn needle and I'm going to hide this and tie it up so it doesn't come undone. Also, like I said, I'm going to be adding a pom-pom, so if there's any little gap there, it won't be noticeable at all. But it's important that you secure this end the most. The other ends I'm not overly worried about because every time we started a new round we did a knot, like we did a slip knot, and that's not going to come undone, but you want to make sure that this particular spot is nice and tied up. You can even pull it into the inside if you want and actually tie a knot, although some people will gasp and clutch their pearls at the idea of doing a knot. So actually that came out off my needle. Let me reattach it here. Okay, so I am going to bring it through. That's hard to see. I'm going to bring it through the center. You can decide if you want to keep the string to extra reinforce your pom-pom, but my pom-pom is going to have its own string. Okay, so this is the inside. Nobody cares what the inside looks like so much. So we're going to add if we're going to add a knot, this is where to do it. Okay. Okay, this is where I'm stopping, so I'm going to trim my end, and I hope you didn't gasp in horror when you saw the inside. So all of these ends, some of them have been secured down, but for me, I know that my ends are more or less tied because, like I said, we used knots, slip knots for each one. So now is the time you can make the decision. Are you just going to cut them off? Or are you going to be responsible crocheter and thread them onto a needle? So you could thread them on a needle and weave them in if you'd like. I'm going to show you the responsible way. So just weaving it in to its same color until you feel like it's secure. Although, in my opinion, it is already secure. And then take your scissors and trim them off. Okay, I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do with the rest of my ends. That's my own personal private business. You decide what you're going to do with yours. Okay, I am done. I've put it inside out, or I put it right side out again. I'm going to add my pom-pom, and then we're going to try on our hats. I love this. This is so cool. And once the pom-pom is on, it'll be extra cool. Come back and I'll show you if you need some ideas about how to add your pom-pom. Essentially, you're just tying it on, but we can do that together in just a moment. All right, so I have finished my pom-pom. I used my little pom-pom maker. I got this one from the dollar store, but you can get one of these from anywhere to make your own or any other method that you used. So I'm delighted with my pom-pom. I think it's very cute. And I'm just going to sew it onto my hat. And I don't know if I'm very professional at my sewing on pom-poms. I essentially just thread it. I thread it through one side and pull, and then I took my hook, my needle out, and I'm going to thread it through the other side. My pom-pom has 2 strings on it. I designed it that way. And this one I'm going to do it opposite to make sure it's centered, and then I just really invert it and tie it on. You could probably sew, but oops, sorry, I bonked it. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab my 2 ends that are now in here. Make sure I like the way that looks. Okay, and I'm really just gonna tie it in on the inside here. Tie it with a few knots. There's one and another one. Make sure it's tied in as much as you want it to be. If you really wanted to, you could weave these ends in, but once again, I'm not going to bother because this is my hat. Okay, my cat's trying to get in the room where I am. Okay, snip that. Nobody will be the wiser. Invert your hat and look at that. Oh my God, I love this hat. It's so cool. I love it. I think it's great. I love that the pom-pom is matching my brim. I love that the 2 colors, like the purple is in here. It's so cool. Now for the ultimate test, trying it on. I hope that you enjoyed making this project. I hope that you have finished one or you've tried. This stitch is really fast. I have to say I enjoyed it a lot. I don't really like making the band. It kind of is tedious, but then the rest just flies. Let's see how it looks. Okay, let's see how it looks. I'm excited. Here it is. Here's my beautiful hat. Put it on. Slouch it down. Oh, I love it. I don't know if you could tell how cute it is. You could pull it down. It's a little bit slouchy, which is the style. And I love this hat. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you have a beautiful hat that you can wear too. Good fall is coming. Any colors you want, any scrap yarn that you want. Please join me next time. Maybe we'll make another hat or maybe another bag. I'll see you soon. Bye. Thank you.